All right, for your current event this week, we're going to take a look at an article called Chris Cuomo Book Canceled by Publisher HarperCollins After CNN Host Firing. So, you may or may not be familiar with Chris Cuomo, but he was an anchor at CNN, and his brother was the governor of New York. So, this has to do with a scandal that both are involved in. It says a division of HarperCollins Publishers said Tuesday that it has canceled plans to publish a book by Chris Cuomo, who was fired over the weekend by CNN following controversy over his role advising his brother, disgraced former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. HarperCollins Custom House imprint originally planned to publish Chris Cuomo's book titled Deep Denial in fall of 2022. We do not intend to publish the book, said Kelly Rudolph, a spokeswoman for Custom House. Rudolph did not immediately respond when asked if Cuomo had received an advance to write the book. That means given money ahead of time to write the book. And if so, whether that money had been refunded. News of the cancellation came a day after Cuomo said he was ending his Sirius XM show, and hours after the Wall Street Journal reported that CNN President Jeff Zucker had told the news network employees that CNN will not pay Cuomo a severance. So, a severance package is something that's typically given out by companies when they let somebody go. But in this case, they're not going to pay him a severance because they feel like what he did violated their code of ethics. Zucker also told employees at a town hall that he wished Cuomo had taken a leave of absence in May after revelations that he had been advising Andrew Cuomo on how to deal with claims of sexual harassment by multiple women, the Journal reported. A spokesman for Cuomo declined to comment to CNBC. CNN suspended the Cuomo primetime host last week after documents released by New York Attorney General Letitia James showed that he had been more involved in counseling Andrew Cuomo than had been disclosed. The documents revealed that Chris Cuomo has passed along and discussed passing along potentially negative information about women who had accused Andrew of inappropriate behavior, and that he had tapped news sources to track the status of work by journalists on articles about his brother. CNN fired him Saturday, saying new information had come to light that warranted termination. So in this case, you've got somebody who was trying to help out their brother, and in doing so, kind of violated some ethical codes that journalists usually stand by. So, the idea is to get to the truth, not to intimidate people into not releasing the truth, and definitely not to try to influence anything that's being printed by other news sources. So, because of those things, he was fired. So, what we're going to talk about is cancel culture. For cancel culture, first we're going to talk about what it is. It's something you may have heard. It's definitely something that has been happening a lot with social media in recent past. And then you're going to respond to the 3 questions using complete sentences. So, cancel culture or call out culture is this form of ostracism. To be ostracized means you're basically like thrown out of the group. So, where someone is thrust out of social or professional circles, whether it be online, on social media, or in person, those subject to this ostracism are said to have been canceled. So it's like when somebody does something that people don't agree with, that's maybe controversial or offensive, and they get canceled. So they almost have to give up their role or their career or something like that. And it's happened a whole lot in recent times, especially because everything is filmed and put on YouTube now. Even just interactions with people at Starbucks or in a park or anything like that. So, the questions I'd like you to answer: what are your opinions regarding cancel culture? Do you think people should withdraw from all aspects of public life or their career if they're involved in something scandalous? So, do you think that this cancel culture has a place in our society? Number 2, can you think of any examples when cancel culture seemed to have gone too far? And if so, explain. And lastly, do you think it is appropriate to cancel Chris Cuomo's book in this situation? Explain your response. So, just kind of think about what's happening in this situation. This is a journalist, and there are definitely a code of ethics in journalism. So that's something you might want to consider. But also, does, doing something that's inappropriate or, scandalous necessarily warrant you having to lose your job? So just kind of think about that, respond to the questions using complete sentences, and that'll be all for this week. If you have any questions, please reach out.